Oh, welcome to the Gov Shack. So happy to have you guys with me today. It is noon, yes, and we have two Gov Shacks now a week. You're saying, Larry, can I get enough Gov Shacks? Well, you probably can't, but I'm going to give you two anyway. I'm going to give you one on Mondays at 8 and one on Wednesdays at noon. So you get at least two of them a week. Isn't that awesome? Gov Shack, always about my New York State Governor campaign, as you can probably see behind you. Yes, indeed. And why this gives you an opportunity to chat with me directly if you want to about the campaign to the best of your ability. I can talk about the campaign to the best of my ability and also let you know where I'm going to be this weekend, next weekend, wherever the case may be. You will see me out and about again this week. I am heading back out again. I know you guys are like, wait a minute, is this guy out again? He is. I'm back out again. It's true. And I'm also out the week after. So I'm out this week and I'm also out next week, both, which is kind of interesting, I know. So some of you are like, wait a minute, does this guy ever rest? I do rest, just not that often. That's the issue. Just not that often. Let me pop it out right now if I could. So you guys, if you're going to be around New York, in my area at all, please come out and see me if you would. You can see right here where I'm going to be. I'm going to be at the Skyview restaurant in Kingston at 12:30 on Friday. This Friday coming up at the 7th. Saturday, I'm sorry, then again at 6 p.m., I'll be at the Parting Glass in Saratoga Springs, going up there on the kind of Hudson Valley and then the Albany area, for those of you who want to know where that is. Then we are heading to North Country, going to be in the Village Roast Coffee Shop in Keysville, New York, and then Amato in Tupper Lake at 2:30, and then 7 p.m. at DePrinzio's in Clayton. So a nice North Country run. Yes, I go to North Country. Most people don't. In fact, at least Stefanik doesn't, and that's her district. So we'll see how that works. And of course, on the 9th on Sunday, I'll be at the Upstate Bar and Grill in Cooperstown. Yes, where the Baseball Hall of Fame is. I will be in that town. So if you're around, come join me. Come say hi. As always, it's free. No requirement to come in. I would like you, if you could, to please support the local restaurant. Buy something. If you're not in a very good financial position, just buy a drink, coffee, whatever, beer, whatever's your thing. Please buy something to support the local place. If you are in a better financial spot, please buy a meal. Please support that place and buy a meal if you're in that spot. Either way, show up, chat with me. And if you can't afford either, just come sit, fill a seat, chat with me. Let people know. Why does this matter so much? Why do I bug you guys so much about coming to these events? Because when you come to an event, people realize you're not alone. That's the most important thing. Very often we sit here thinking, am I the only one watching the state go to hell? Am I the only one thinking about leaving? Am I the only one who thinks maybe somebody else like Larry Sharpe could actually win this thing and make something happen? Well, you might feel that way. Show up to one of these events. You will not. That's why I ask you to come if you can. And look, it's why I keep doing it. I'm finishing up I'm finishing up my 7th full Sharpe. I'll be starting my 8th full Sharpe the next week. So that means I've crossed this state 7 times. I'm not joking. I've been to every single county at least 7 times after this weekend. I'll be back on my 8th. So now we'll be rocking and rolling at that point. So guys, if you can stop by, please do so. It does matter. I know I bug you, but it's because it matters. When it comes to this specific thing, please click that like button. It does matter if you want to. Please do it. When it comes to super chats, remember this is a campaign page at this moment, so we can't go through YouTube. If you do want to do a super chat, you can. LarrySharpe.com/super chat. Do that. I get the super chat. I'll actually read it out here if you want to. That supports the campaign. Just so we're clear on this. So there's a difference between this and YouTube and such. YouTube, there's no monetization for YouTube on this. This is only if you want to go through the campaign, you may. No monetization at all. Just so you're aware of that, to be clear. All right. So I think that covered most of the things. What did I want to talk about today? I wanted to talk about yesterday's election. Of course, everyone's talking about it. I want to talk about it. Of course I do. What does it mean? And most people will tell you, well, it means that New York is screwed because they hired a socialist and the world's going to end. That's one side. The other side is, oh my God, Cuomo sucks. No, there's lots of things. I want to go through and show something which I want to give credit where credit is due. And that is CNN. I know. Usually I'm like, my God, it's terrible. I've been telling you, CNN is trying to be better. Okay. They haven't gotten there at all, but they are trying. And every once in a while, CNN does something that actually is good. Like they actually once in a while do some good coverage. It does happen. It used to never happen. but they've realized how bad things are, and they're attempting to go back to what they were like in the 80s and 90s, which is a much better news station. They're trying, but their culture is so broken, it's really hard for them. But they did do something nice. This was not bad coverage. So I'm going to give some credit where credit is due, and I'm going to show some actual not bad coverage on the campaign, trying to get like both sides, trying to get some good stuff going. I'm gonna give them some credit, and they did this. Here we go. Okay, maybe I'm a liar. Is it not going? I thought it is going, right?
With us now, with an all New Jersey panel, Democratic strategist Julie Rudzinski and Republican strategist Mike Duhame. In an off-year election like this, there are dangers of overinterpreting the results and also underinterpreting. So
they're actually saying there could be propaganda on both sides. CNN. Nice. I mean, maybe it's because Democrats won so much and the Republicans really got blown out. It's true. They did. I know if you're a Republican, you don't want to hear that, but they did get blown out. So maybe that's why they are that way, but this wasn't bad coverage.
Instead of making you choose, I think I'm going to give you a chance to do both, right? So overinterpret what we saw in New Jersey and Virginia, because actually I think it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, the overinterpretation of this is that this is a permanent majority that Democrats will be able to keep. And what you saw, at least in New Jersey, I have to look at the numbers in Virginia, is there are cohorts of voters who came out very strongly for Mikey Sherrill, who are not necessarily Democratic voters anymore.
And that's the piece that I want to make sure. She's correct. It's very easy for Democrats to do the same thing Republicans did. Republicans were like, we have Trump, we won, we have a mandate, we're going to do whatever we want, and we don't care if we're going to tariff or lock down or shut the government out. We don't care. We're doing whatever we want. And Trump is just going to yell at us and call everybody who is not him a bad guy and yell at people. And that has backfired. I warned Republicans in January. I warned them. I said, hubris is going to be your enemy. Going too far will be your enemy. And they went too far. And that's what actually happened yesterday. Republicans went too far. And that's why they lost in New Jersey and Virginia. That's true. Trump did not help at all in this case. He either hurt or did not help. Not even in New York City, he didn't. He either hurt or did not help. Either way. And that's because he's currently unpopular. Not among Republicans. He's currently unpopular among independents. Currently, he's unpopular among independents, and that's why, right? So she's saying it. Democrats, don't fall into that. Don't think all of a sudden you're great, because here's the thing that people aren't getting. While Republicans got beat up yesterday, Democrats are not popular. People still don't like Democrats. It's not like all of a sudden, like, yay, Schumer was right the whole time. Everyone's going to come back to Democrats. No. That is not the way it works. That's not how it works. Republicans got beat up yesterday, and Democrats are still unpopular. So what's left? Independence. This is the time for independence. She mentioned it. She just said it. There are lots of people who voted for this Democrat, but they're not Democrats. They were independents. Independents keep growing. They're growing in New York. They're growing in New Jersey, growing in Virginia. They're growing everywhere. They're looking for something else. The status quo does not work. And we see it. This is the time. For those of you who are saying, Larry, you could never win. This could never happen. Okay. Here's what you have to understand. In yesterday's New York City election, the spoiler, I'm using air quotes, was the Republican. Let me repeat that. The spoiler, in air quotes, was the Republican. That's not normal. That happened. Yes, that happened. The spoiler was that. Now, you would say, well, there was an independent, but it was Cuomo. In reality, the actual independent was actually Mamdani. The Democrat was Cuomo. That's the reality, right? Not legally, obviously. Legally, Cuomo was the independent and Mamdani was the Democrat. But in reality, Mamdani was the independent. The Democrat came in second, and the Republican was maybe the spoiler, if that. That's what actually happened in New York City. You might go, wait a minute, Larry, is that the future? Yes, it is. That's the future of New York State. How do I know that, right? I always say these things, Larry, I'm not making this up. How do I know that? I'm looking at two states I bring up all the time, Nebraska and Utah. in Nebraska and Utah in the last two statewide elections for Senate, U.S. Senate, not state Senate, United States Senate, the Democrats didn't bother running a candidate. Why bother? Why bother? Can't win, can't raise money. Why bother? That's what most New York City GOP people thought about the mayor. Why bother? We can't win. And a citywide. Now, again, there are some Republicans who win locally. That's absolutely true. There absolutely are some, who win locally. But citywide, it's impossible. So why bother? Curtis Sliwa, to his credit, and I want to give him some. People are mad at him right now. Oh, how dare you? You screwed it up. You wrecked us. I get it. I get why they're mad. I understand spoiler, people. I do. I'm a libertarian. I get it completely. I totally get it. So I get why they're mad. I understand the whole deal. I get it. But to give Curtis Sliwa credit, he stepped up when no other Republicans would. He stepped up because he knew. He decided to accept the loss and be the sacrificial lamb. And instead of them going, thank you, they stabbed him in the back. They stabbed him in the back. When I say they, I mean Republican leadership. They stabbed him in the back. That's what they did. With that in mind, how are you going to find more Republicans to run? The Republican Party in New York is going to be similar to the Democratic Party in Nebraska or Utah. In 2 or 3 cycles, they're going to stop running statewide candidates because no one will do it. No one will do it. No one will take the L, fight to raise money, maybe get stabbed in the back. What happens when next year the Republicans realize they can't win this thing? If Stefanik actually starts to run, which she's supposed to run, we'll see if she does. Hopefully she backs out because it's unwinnable for her. But maybe she'll still decide to do it anyway. She decides to run. And then all of a sudden now when she begins to run, she realizes, damn, I can't raise money. There's no way I can win this damn thing. And here comes Larry Sharpe making me look stupid because I don't have any policies because she has none. And worse, she's tied directly to Trump. And Trump is responsible, whether you like it or not, everyone's going to say it, whether true or not is irrelevant. Trump's responsible for the beating that Republicans took yesterday. Like it or not, he's the president. They're going to blame him. It's his fault. Yep. So now his fault next year, if the economy isn't rocking and rolling and it does not look good, I've been saying this for months, it does not look good. Look, to be forward, I'm not a Republican, but I don't want our president to fail. I didn't want Biden to fail. I don't want Trump to fail. I don't want our presidents to fail. I hope Trump has the magic pill that I don't know about. And I hope that next year the economy's awesome and we're all doing great. I hope the tariffs work perfectly and all his deals come to fruition. I hope it happens. It doesn't look like it at all. It looks bad. I hope I'm wrong. I hope next year you guys go, see, look, Trump was awesome. He was the God King after all, and he had all the plans. He was playing 4D chess the whole time. I hope, and I'm not saying that facetiously. I'm saying that honestly. I hope I'm wrong, and Trump has all the plans, and they all work well, and we have a great economy, and everybody's happy. I would love that. That'd be amazing. I don't see it. I don't see it. And if I don't see it, other people don't see it. I'm not the only guy who thinks that way, right? I wish I was the only smart guy in the world and I'm the only one who thought that. No, there's tons of smart people who know all kind of stuff. So obviously, I'm not the only guy who thinks this. If it doesn't go well next year, Republicans are in trouble. Stefanik's going to see that. And when she sees that, she's going to say, what should I do? And worse, what happens? What happens when they see that, oh my God, Larry Sharpe might actually beat Stefanik. He might actually win. What's going to happen then? Are they going to Sliwa her? Are they going to Sliwa her? Are they going to do that? Yes, I'm using Sliwa as a verb now. Are they going to tell her, don't vote for Stefanik, vote for Larry Sharpe because we got to stop Hochul? So they did down here. Got to stop the evil Democratic Socialist. Are they going to say we got to stop? Or the reverse. Are they going to try to say, don't vote for Larry Sharpe, vote for Stefanik to stop Hochul? They can't do that. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Because they know that Stefanik cannot get Democratic voters. She's in North Country, deep red. She only wins by like 10 points. She should be winning by 30 points. Easily. She can't. She cannot get Democratic voters. Democratic voters won't vote for her. Why? Because Democrats in New York State hate Trump. Republicans in New York State love Trump. And there's more Republicans in North Country by far than are Democrats. The problem is she's so linked to Trump that independents, Democrats don't vote for her, even though there's far more Republicans in North Country than are Democrats. It's not even close. It's probably 2-1. It's far more. Still, she can't dominate. She can't get Democratic voters. Without Democratic voters, she cannot win the election. You know, there's a guy who's running who can get Democratic voters. Oh, that guy's Larry Sharpe. That's me. I know that. Between 25 and 30% of the people who voted for me are actually registered Democrats. Think about that. If I can get 1/3 of the Democrats, and that's back in 2018 and 2022. That's not now. That's before. I know that from internal Republican polling. Our polling didn't get that. Republican polling got that. And they didn't tell me until afterwards. I know people in the Republican Party who afterwards told me what they were feeling, what was happening. They told me later on. They had internal polling. They weren't going to post, obviously. For those who don't know, there's two types of polling: internal and external polling. What does that mean? Polling that they use that's not used for marketing. It's used to understand what's actually happening so they can react effectively within a campaign. That usually isn't posted unless it looks really good for them. Then there's a second type of polling, which is done for marketing, which shows, look how good we're doing. We're moving forward. That's more bullshit polling. That's what you and I usually see. Internal polling is rarely put out to the public. The internal campaign sees it. In that, I know, depending upon which poll, between 25 and 30% of the people who are voting for me were registered Democrats. 1/3 of people vote for me are Democrats. I'm just going to say that because I like that. It sounds better. I'm just going to say that. It's kind of true. It's true. I said so. 1/3 of people vote for me are Democrats, right? So if that's true, 1/3, now I get Republicans and independents, winnable race. Winnable race. And Stefanik's people, Republicans, are going to know that. And the question Stefanik has to ask herself is, will the Republican leadership do the same thing they did here and go, we have to change the state from blue to something else. It can't go red. Yesterday's election showed us this. It didn't go red in New Jersey. It didn't go red in New Jersey. And New Jersey's more red than New York is. It didn't go red in New Jersey. Didn't go red in Virginia. Virginia, it didn't go red. Blue, both, by over 10 points, 15 points each. This is absolutely the reality. And Stefanik will have to know that. And Republican Party will have to know that. When do they get smart and get behind the guy you're looking at right now? When do the Republicans get smart and get behind me? When they do that? I don't know. Do they just say, we don't care and take another loss? Awesome. Another ass whipping. They took an ass whipping this year, an ass whipping in New York State next year. And now here's the worst part. Prop 50 passed in California. Those who don't know what Prop 50 is, that now will allow California to redistrict any way they want. They're going to throw out tons of Republicans. What does that mean? New York will follow. New York will copy. Oh, okay, great. They're going to throw them out too. 2026, Democrats going to gain at least 5 seats, if not 10 or 15. Depends on how bad things go, what happens. If Trump's economy is, again, this is the hard part for Republicans. If you're a Republican listening right now, this is the hard part for you. You are tied directly to Trump's economy. You are. You may not like that, but you are. If Trump is correct, and next year everything goes rocking and rolling, yeah, he'll come back. If not, no way. No way. Republicans are going to take a shellacking again in 2026 if Trump's economy does not turn around. You might go, is it Trump's economy? It is. Whether you like it or not, it is. Well, it's not fair because you can cuz all day. Doesn't matter. This is going to happen. That's how that works. Hopefully they'll get it. Let me walk a bit. I went long on that one, but anyway.
Specifically the Latino community, which Democrats, I think, for many, many years used to take for granted. You cannot take that community for granted anymore. They performed for her last night. They did not perform for Kamala Harris last time. And Democrats better make sure that they deliver for that community in a real and meaningful way to keep that community in the tent. She's
right. If you're a Democrat listening, don't get up on your high horse. You still got to work for this. If you're going to fall into the same trap Trump did, and next year you're going to be screwed. So make sure you take care of this. It does matter.
That's just one example of a community.
An overinterpretation would be, Democrats have Latinos back.
We don't have Latinos.
Right, but that's
correct. Oh, see, look at this is what I'm saying with CNN. Look, this is actually some good stuff. He's saying they actually don't have it yet. They don't. They have to work for it still. Let me grab some comments before I keep going. I'm looking over at Instagram, and Stephen Gold says, we are cooked. Thankfully, I don't live in New York City. You're right. The reason why the Dems did well is because the economy is so bad. Yes. And again, this is something that people would often get upset about when it would happen either way. They would go, well, when Obama got on, well, it's kind of, it's not really Obama's, economy. It's kind of Bush's economy. Or when Trump came in, is it Trump's economy? Is Obama's economy? The country does not care. The country sees the economy owned by the current president, fair or not. I know some of you go, but the buts don't matter. Americans say, is the economy good or not? Who's the president right now? It's their fault or their benefit. That's how Americans think. You want to change the culture? Okay, change the culture. But until you change the culture, that's how Americans think. When the economy is good, and this is one of the reasons why Trump got back in 2024, because the economy was better when Trump was president. And you can go, well, that's Obama, whatever. Doesn't matter. Whatever you might think. The economy was better when Trump was president the first term. People knew that. And they went, I want that again. I want Trump back again. Because that's how it works. Good or bad, you have to accept that. If you're going to play this game of politics, you have to accept the reality of that. So let me grab some more comments from YouTube if I can. All right, Lunatic is in the house. How are you, sir? I will be on Lunatic Show today. It's today, right? Today at 5 p.m. here on YouTube. Lunatic Libertarian, guys. Check it out. I will be on his show today at 5 p.m. So please check it out. I'll be yapping there. I will try not to yell at him. I'm going to yell at him. He's going to yell at me. It's fine. It's all good. I love my man. He's great. All right. Kim says, Larry Sharpe for New York government 2026. True. Let's do that. Look, I know I bug you guys about this. This matters. You see what happened when Mamdani won yesterday, how everyone's talking about it, how everything seems to be changing. Everyone's worried. Imagine when I win next year, governor of New York. Whatever's happening now, multiply it by 10, maybe 50. The entire nation changes. I'm the only one talking about a real coalition. I'm the only one talking about left and right policies. I'm the only one talking about actual policies to change things, to keep some people on the left, some people on the right actually happy. I'm the only one trying to put people together. Look, this is one of Trump's worst problems that he dealt with. Once he got that coalition together, and he did, last year he did. Total credit, I will always give him credit for that. Putting together RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, well done. I don't know if it was his team or him who thought of it. It does not matter. He gets credit for it. Well done, Trump, for that. That was amazing. And that's what got you the mandate. That's how you beat Harris in the popular vote. Well done. Good to go. I like that. Now it comes time to actual governing. He was the only one who could have kept that coalition together. He has a strong personality. He could have done it. He did not. He didn't keep giving them little things like he should have done, right? He gave libertarians Ross. Okay, great. Now what? Nothing. No, dude, you got to keep throwing stuff at us and giving us a little bit of chump, a little morsel. So we want to keep eating again. He stopped. The Maha people are kind of still with him because he's left RFK Jr. alone. But if he starts attacking RFK Jr., he'll lose Maha too. Yes. There is a civil war in both parties and people aren't seeing it. Now, the sad part about the Democratic Party is they have no strong leadership. That's why Mamdani could just take off and do things. There's no strong leadership. They're just all around the place. And they're trying to pretend like, oh, we always loved you, blah, blah. Or we're an open tent, big tent party. That shit's not true. That's Democratic cope. That's absolutely not true. They're falling apart. And that's why they aren't popular. They require a strong leader to keep that coalition together, but they can't, which is why it's breaking up. The DSA is kind of a separate party within the Democratic Party. I mean, it's not officially, but it kind of is. They work on their own. They do other things. They don't really care what the Democratic Party thinks. You can see Mamdani didn't give a shit what the Democratic Party thought. He just forced on. His force of will, as I said before, was very similar to Trump's force of will. A guy like Mamdani, not him, he's probably too young, probably not experienced enough, but a guy like a Mamdani could actually keep a coalition together with that kind of personality. The problem is he's very ideological. Trump is not. Trump is transactional. You would require some type of strong leader with the personality of Mamdani, but someone who's not ideological, someone who is transactional. Trump is transactional, which makes some of the ideologues unhappy because he'll go against their ideology to get a deal done. So, but that's what you need. Someone who can do that. that would actually work to keep Democrats together. They don't have that. And there's no one I can see even on the bench. I don't see anybody in the Democratic Party could do that. I mean, it's not true. Could do it, but I don't think could make the step. And that actually is, believe it or not, I know some of you are going to hate it. It's Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is also transactional. He's also that way. The problem is he has so much baggage. Can he make that step? He's got good charisma, so maybe, but he would have to become an iron fist. And that isn't his personality. He'd have to become an iron fist, but he is a deal maker. So maybe Newsom could do it. Maybe that's a stretch, but that's the best they got. And that's sad. When Gavin Newsom's the best you got, that's sad. I mean, maybe. And I'm saying I'm pushing it. If maybe he gets some people together, maybe, but that's hard. So what does that mean? When both parties are in the middle of a civil war and are breaking up, it means it's ripe for third parties. It's ripe for independent parties. And not just that, it's the way to solve this. Get independent parties on board, get people running, get people having their own single issue coalitions. This can move our country forward, and we can stop, believe it or not, the violence. Larry's talking about violence? I am. Here's the problem. When people don't have an outlet, when they don't have a way of speaking or talking, when they don't have it, they resort to violence. It's true. We see it everywhere. Give people an outlet, let them have their say, and they won't be as violent. That's it. So anyway, grab some more of these if I can. All righty. I appreciate all of these. All righty. Lunatic says, yes, you do need to be a citizen to be mayor of New York City. Okay, great. Yes. Yes, citizen can be revoked if you associate with totalitarian groups. No, I don't think that's true. I think you have to, if you associate with groups that are in some way deemed anti-American, you can be totalitarian. That isn't an issue. You have to be, it has to be some way where it seems as though it's treason in some way, shape, or form. But no, just because, I mean, there's lots of totalitarian groups that are allied to America. Saudi Arabia is an ally.
Right.
And
let me just show people you Passaic County, which has got.
Excuse me. So yeah, it isn't totalitarian. It has to be in some way anti-American, treasonous, that kind of thing. It can be done. I don't see it happening. But could it? Yeah, it could. I do not see Trump getting rid of Mamdani. Doesn't seem like it makes sense. Would he threaten it or something like that? Yeah. But I think he'll try to contain him. Plus, there's something else. There's an advantage for Republicans in Mamdani. There's an advantage. And the advantage is he becomes brown man bad. Right? And it worked in New York City. A ton of Republicans voted for Andrew Cuomo. Let me say it again. A ton of Republicans voted for Andrew Cuomo. Why? Because brown man bad. Yes. So Democrats have had orange man bad for 10 years now? Well, now Republicans got brown man bad for how long? However long that works, right? They're going to have that too. I don't know how long it'll work, but they're going to do it. So yeah, so it worked. So so I don't think they want to get rid of him. Why would they? Well, then go, you got to vote for us. Otherwise, Zoran Mamdani and his socialist Marxist Muslims are going to come take over the world. They're going to be saying that shit for the next 10 years. Of course. They're saying it already. They're already saying it, lunatic. The Islamic Marxists are going to take over the world. Yeah, that's happening already. Just like Trump is going to kill your babies and there's going to be no more elections. Remember Trump? No more elections. Remember that? We just had one. Orange man bad was just hype. And this, whatever they're going to say, same thing. Yes. Going to take over the world. Yeah. Same thing. So yeah. Alrighty. Cage says, Zoran and Dick out is the university or something. Dick meaning Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney passed away. And there's a saying, if you can't say something nice about somebody, don't say anything at all. Next one. HVAC Soldier says they don't love Democrats. They hate Trump. True. Or there's not okay. Democrats hate Trump. Independents, most don't hate Trump. Many of them feel disappointed because they wanted more love from him. They thought he'd be more on their side. They thought he'd be more like that. And he has not done that. So, yeah, I think that's the issue, right? They're not getting, while many of them liked what he said, And he has done many things he said. That's true. He has. But the outcome hasn't been what people wanted. The outcome people wanted was a better economy, stronger America, and immigration that didn't look so bad as it does. The immigration policy looks terrible. It looks bad. Again, not saying he didn't do what he said. Trump's doing what he said. Credit to Trump. He said he's going to do it, and he's doing it. But it looks terrible. The bombing looks terrible. Another thing is he didn't end the wars. And again, that's his horrible communication. Why the hell did he say he's going to do it in 24 hours, whatever stupid shit he said? That was terrible. That's his communication. He should have said it's going to take at least a year of negotiating, which is what I said last year. And if he had just said that, it's at least a year of negotiating, but I'll get it done. People would have been like, okay. How do I know that? Argentina. The people on the left go, see, it all sucks. Malay's bad. No, you're wrong. And be very clear about this. You are wrong. How do I know that? Malay still won the last election. Is Malay perfect? Not at all. Malay still won the election even after getting caught in a stupid meme coin scam and all the types of shit he got caught in, and he still is winning. Why? Here's the reason why. Inflation is down. Homelessness is down. Rent is down. People live better in Argentina right now, even with his stupid shit. People live better in Argentina now than before he was president. That's a fact. You don't like that? Too bad. That's a fact. And they know it. That's why he still won. Even though he had bad stuff happen. He's not perfect at all. Well, Larry had a bailout. New York State gets a bailout every year. New York State gets a $20 billion bailout from the federal government every year. He got 40 or whatever. He got 22, right? What have we got? He got 20 something too, right? Here's the amount as we get. He has twice the population, and his country's getting better. Ours isn't. We get a bailout and we still suck. We get a bailout and we get a socialist as the largest city who runs the largest city in America. I'd rather be Argentina. So, yeah. Music Man Crichton says, Larry, I'm undecided for 2026. New York governor race, flee or fight mode. Fight. Flee after November next year. Flee after November next year. Brooklyn 9103 says, Larry Sharpe for government 2026. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you guys are around. All righty. Remember, guys, I appreciate what you guys are doing. I appreciate this, but this is also a fundraiser. You want me to win in 2026? I want to win. I do. Takes cash. LarrySharpe.com/donate. Head on over there. Donate what you can. Here's what I want you to do. Please look at what you can spare per month. Can you spare $10, $25, $50? What can you spare per month? Give me a year. I'm going to be doing this for a year, literally a year. A year from now, what is it? November 5th? I think it's a year from now. Is the election? I need you for a year. That's what I need. Commit to me. I'm committing to you. I'm going to go. You guys know this. In 2018, I ran to the end. In 2022, I got my ass kicked, and I still ran to the end. I will run to the end. I did it before. I'll do it again. I'm asking you the same thing. Give me a year. If you are in a good financial spot where you can do $100 a month, I hope you all are. Do $100 a month. To be forward with you, I am giving far more than that. I'm giving far more than that. And this is, you guys don't know this. After my 2018 election, I was $100,000 in debt. After my 22 election, I was better. I was only $40,000 in debt. After this election, I will again be in debt. I will be in a negative when this election's over. I know it already. I've accepted it as true. My team knows it. They think I'm crazy because I probably am. I'm not asking you to go into debt. I'm not asking of you. I chose this. Don't feel sorry for me. I chose this. My choice. I did it. I knew what I was doing. Informed consent. I've done it before. I know it's going to happen. I'm not asking you to bleed out as I am. I'm asking you to bleed with me. That's what I'm asking you to do. Bleed with me. What can you do per month? Can you swing $10 a month, $100 a month, whatever it is? Give it to me for a year. I will sacrifice for a year. I'm asking you to sacrifice for a year. Whatever that is, you tell me what you could do, go do it. If you live in New York State, even better. Remember, in New York State, everything you give times 6. matching funds times 6. I need 5,000 New Yorkers to give me a total of $500,000. If that happens, I will get $3 million from New York State matching funds. When that happens, this is a winnable race. I'm not joking, making this up. This becomes a winnable race. I know, I've been through this twice before. I know what a winnable race is. I know what not a winnable race is. I am very well aware of that. I've been through it the hard way twice. Do that. Move on, please. Donate monthly for 1 year. Pick the amount you can swing. If you're in a very good spot where you can give $500 a month, I hope you're that wealthy. I hope you are. If you are, it's worth it. Well, Larry, why do we give you $500 a month if I got all this money? Because you want to keep it and stay in New York. That's why. Because you don't want New York's crazy rules to go to your state. That's why. So you keep your money. I hope you're all there. If you're not, fine. $10 is fine. $20, fine. Whatever works, whatever you can do, let's move it forward. And here's the best part. If the team knows how much money we're bringing every month, we can plan better. It helps tremendously. If you want to get something for it, head over to LarrySharpe.com/shop, pick up a shirt, a hoodie, a bumper sticker. Make sure you wear the shirt, wear the hoodie, put the bumper sticker on. People need to know what I'm doing. Why? The number one thing I'm looking for is validity. Is, people know who I am. I'm looking to be legitimate. The more people will see me, the better. If you're saying, Larry, I've done all this stuff, I'm done with that. Great, volunteer then. LarrySharpe.com/volunteer. Join SEAL Team Sharpe. You join this team. We meet every Wednesday. Tonight, we're meeting 9 p.m. 9 p.m. meeting tonight. Zoom call. Jump on the call. What we're doing, how we're working, all going to be done tonight at 9 p.m. Every Wednesday, 9 p.m. we have a meeting. Jump on board. Jump on board so we make this happen. All right, I've yapped away, but no matter what, click the like button. It does matter. All right, let me keep going down here if I get a little bit more.
The largest population of Hispanics in the state. Passaic County, Mikey Sherrill won 57-42. So a 15-point spread in Passaic County. You're like, oh, it's largely
That's
Hispanic.
huge.
This is New Jersey. You
But
would think that this would always be the case. Donald Trump won this county by about 3 points.
Yes, there is a difference. And what happened in early 2025 is so many Republicans tied themselves to Trump. Now, early 2025, that was a smart move. Trump was popular. He'd won these counties. It looked good. Trump was popular. All right, let's do it. I'm on a Trump train. Sounds great. Let's do it. He's not anymore. And that came back to bite them.
Just last
11
year,
months later,
Mike
came back to bite them.
Overinterpret these results.
I grew up in Passaic County, so I know that area very well.
Now the Republican talks.
I think the overinterpretation is Democrats looking at this and saying, oh, we're going to sweep everything next year. We're going to get back to the Senate. We're going to win back all these governor's races. I think in reality, what you learned last night was where Donald Trump is strong, it's unique to him. He has some downside, certainly.
This is where Trump is very similar to Obama. Now, some of you Republicans will be mad when I say that. Some of you Democrats mad when I say that. But there are some similarities, right? And the similarity is Obama did not have very good coattails. Obama could get himself elected. He wasn't good at getting others elected. He wasn't great at that. That wasn't his skill set. And Trump, I think, is a similar in that regard. Another problem like that, too. So, yes. All right, let me grab some more of these if I can. You guys have given me so many of these comments. I do want to go through more of them if I can. I appreciate all of these. Music Man Crichton says, New York Republicans need to fire their chairman, Ed Cox. That's why I call myself a New York nationalist who put New York citizens first. Yes, Ed Cox came back in again. If you guys remember, Ed Cox used to be the leader of the Republican Party. Then Nick Langworthy came in. And the thing about Nick Langworthy said, Nick Langworthy is a grifter extraordinaire. Very good at that. Came in, if those of you remember, Ed Cox was beginning to accept that Republicans can't win anymore. So he was already surrendering. Ed Cox was becoming a grifter and saying, you know what, we can't win. Let's just start raising money. And at that point, then he realized, I can't. So in comes Nick Langworthy. Nick Langworthy said, okay, Rome is burning. Let me grift while the grifting's good. So Nick Langworthy said, don't worry, I'm excited. And Nick Langworthy is very good. I'll give him credit where it's due. He is very good at motivating people. He's a good speaker. He's exciting. He gets people fired up. Nick Langworthy does that very well. That's his skill set. He does it very well. People are excited. We're going to beat Cuomo this time, blah, 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 is what he said. And he raised tons of money to beat Cuomo across New York State. And New York Republicans threw money to the Republican Party, thinking, this is our year. Nick's right. This is our year. They believed it like there's no tomorrow. And he threw money at the Republican Party. And kudos to Nick. Nick got a ton of money. The problem is, who's going to run, knowing that in reality, they can't win. right? So who's going to run knowing they can't win, right? That's the problem. So you have to find someone who's prepared to also grift and know that you're going to make money. You're not going to actually win. He found that person, and that person was Lee Zeldin. Now, people thought, Lee Zeldin, he's a fighter. What? Please tell me, any Republican watching, what was Lee Zeldin's policy on fixing New York State? Yeah, none. None. Of course, he had no policies. Why would he have policies? He's not going to win. He knows it. Larry, you don't know that he almost won. Bullshit Republican cope. How do I know that? Because at the end of his campaign, he still had $5 million in his campaign. Why do you have $5 million left over? If you're going to win? If you're going to win. If I will have as close to zero in my account at the end of this, because I will throw every single dollar into winning this thing. I know that both times that happened already. So I have evidence, and you can check the evidence if you want to. I have evidence of this. I will go down to as close to zero as possible. I will spend every single dollar on trying to win. If you give me money, it will go to me trying to win. That's what will happen. Zeldin had $5 million left in his account afterwards. It was 5 or 6, something like that. He had millions of dollars left over, what it was. What did he do? And I told you this. For those who are watching me, I said, within 3 months after the election, he will take that money, put it into a PAC, and then he will become the head of that PAC and pay himself a salary. He will take the money the Republicans gave him and just pay himself a salary for the next 5 years. That's what I said. That's what happened. Again, I'm saying this publicly. If I'm wrong, you can call me out. No, do the homework. That's what happened. And then he got picked for EPA. So he knew. Lee Zeldin knew he might lose his seat because of redistricting in 2022. I'll lose my seat. I won't be a congressman. I can't go back to the law field because I'm not a good lawyer. Now what do? Okay, I'll join the grift team with Nick Langworthy. Well, was Nick grifting? What happened with Nick? Nick started redistricting, was all about it. Saw that, oh my God, I can now become a congressman, which he didn't tell anybody about. He was supposed to be the New York GOP head, and he's going to lead us towards victory. That was what he told us. Told all people in New York State, and Republicans bought it, gave him tons of money. He took that money, took that time to get popularity, screwed over Carl Palladino, who also ran for Congress. He decided to run for Congress, screwed him over, backstabbed him, and then became a congressman. Nick Langworthy now is a congressman, grifting from the public teat as he wanted to do the whole time. Lee Zeldin, EPA, awesome. What happened to New Yorkers? We're still screwed. Now we have Mamdani. That's your New York GOP. Who wanted to run the GOP? Nobody. It's a sinking ship. So they brought back Ed Cox. I wish all this was not true. I wish it wasn't true, but it is. You can see it. If you think I'm making it up, do your own homework. It's there. Ed Cox went, all right, I'll come back and grift some more. And he's back grifting some more. And they'll lie to them this year and go, this is the year that Elise Stefanik can win. No way. It's a fantasy. And they put out that bullshit poll, the Manhattan Institute, which is an arm of the Republican Party, which I wish it wasn't, but it is. How do I know that? Because they say they're libertarian. They're not. They're Republicans. Why? Because when I went to them and I said, hey, can I have you guys help me out with some policy? This is a true story. 2018 and 2020. Help you out? They went, yeah, Larry, become a Republican. I went, I'm not a Republican. Yeah, but become Republican. I think that's libertarian. Well, we are. So vote Republican. Okay, that's not the same thing. It's not, Manhattan Institute. It's not the same thing. You're Republicans. Have a nice day. And they put out that bullshit poll, which is absolutely not true, that Stefanik's beating Hochul. Stop. Mamdani just won in New York City, and the Republican got 7% of the vote. And you're going to tell me that Elise Stefanik's beating Hochul. Stop. Just fucking stop. It's such a lie. Please, Republicans in New York State, don't believe this bullshit. It's so clearly a lie. They keep lying to you. Stop believing them. So Kim says the only thing Trump is concerned with is keeping the blinders on the people so they don't see how close we are to empire fully collapsed. True yet again. Kim, I hate when you're right. I hate when you're right. Yes. Nathan says, too much money in the governor's race. They want the money from Elise's run more than they want you as governor. True. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. To get the Republicans on my side, I'd probably have to make some kind of deal to bring on some of their consultants so they can get paid. That sounds horrible. But I probably would. Or make some guarantees that I would give them some seats someplace if I actually won. So would I do it? I probably would. I probably would. May sound horrible, but I probably would. If I honestly thought that was a way I could actually win the thing, I might make a deal with them. I would consider it. I would consider it. As that may sound horrible, but I'd consider it. So Not legally, of course, for the FEC. No, I would never consider such a thing. I would. Anyway, so D says, share this into Facebook groups or share it with someone who might find this interesting. Yes, she is correct. Please repost this if you can. Share this someplace. Absolutely. And not just that, subscribe to this channel if you could. Subscribe to this page. Whatever you're watching on, please subscribe. Every little bit counts. The more we do this, the more the rhythm, rhythm, the more the rhythm likes it. So yes, she is correct. Please do so. Absolutely, please do so. All right, let me keep going a little bit longer on this. Is my computer this slow? It is this slow.
And we saw that last night, but I think the overinterpretation would be, hey, we're going to sail forward, whether we have a socialist in New York or more centrist candidates in New Jersey and Virginia. I think you really have to look state by state and district by district.
So what's the underinterpretation?
Yes.
Though? Because maybe the White House is waking up and saying, this isn't our problem. We just had.
Yeah, see, there's also an underinterpretation. This is one of the rare times. And I want to reward good behavior because I want CNN to go back to what it used to be. I do. I want CNN to go back to being, a real news network. I really do. So I'm trying to show this and reward good behavior. Let's hope they get more of this and they go this route. Now, to be forward, MSNBC has just tripled down. Just tripled down. They're making no attempt, which is fine. That is MSNBC. I get it. I'm not mad at them. It is what it is. There's no hope in getting, the MS Now. They're no longer MSNBC, they're MS Now. There's no way of getting MS Now or MSNBC to the center, to any place near. It's impossible. I accept that as true. I move on. CNN's trying. Come on, CNN. I'm rooting for you. Come on now. I'm giving you credit. See, I'm doing it.
Weak candidates in this state.
Yeah, the underinterpretation is when you lose by double digits in both these states, it certainly says something. When Republicans have won New Jersey in the past and Virginia, 2009 presaged a big year for Republicans in 2010, 1993 presaged 1994, Republicans taking back the House. I mean, you cannot sugarcoat this. This was a blowout. And it wasn't just New Jersey and Virginia. Local races in Connecticut.
Yes, and this thing people don't realize. Virginia, they won everywhere. Like they won the lieutenant governor. They won in the local, assembly. They won in Connecticut. Democrats won a lot. The Republicans, as I said last night, if you watched, they might watch the Sharpe show last night. I said, you aren't going to like this if you're a Republican. This is not going to be a good night for Republicans. And it was not a good night. Republicans did not have a good night last night. He's right. And that I love. He's a Republican strategist being honest, saying, hey, we had a bad night.
Races in Georgia, county races in Pennsylvania. This was an epic blowout. This was a bloodbath for the Republican
Party.
Pretty
much 100% across the board, or hundo P, as my 18-year-old boys would say. This was like a hundo P night for Democrats. So all the Cheryl people and people close to the Cheryl campaign last night, I kept on asking them, what's the lesson for Democrats going forward? And what they said is, look at the combination that we ran on. We ran against Donald Trump and we held him up because he's deeply unpopular in this state, but we kept on tying him to the economy and affordability.
This was the smart move for Democrats.
When you do both,
they're right.
Puts Democrats in a better position.
Look,
he's right. That's true.
Exception to this, but there's not much difference between the campaign, not the quality of the campaign, but the messaging that Zohran Mamdani ran here in New York, Mikey Sherrill ran in New Jersey. Abigail Spanberger ran in Virginia.
Orange man bad, but economy also bad because Orange man. That combo actually worked.
He's not kept. And I think what you saw was anger from the voters and saying, listen, Mr. President, we gave you a chance. You said you were going to lower prices. You said you were going to make our lives better. And the reality is we're struggling more than ever. And so that's the kind of message that I think you see both from somebody like Zohran Mamdani and Abigail Spanberger and Mikey Sherrill, who probably don't think they have much in common with each other. At least the two governors don't.
Republicans should learn from this. Democrats should too. They won't. But yes, they absolutely should be learning from this. That's absolutely true. Yes. So I brought that up so you could see this is really what we're talking about, right? This is the issue. All right. Let me grab a couple more of these if I could. All righty. Nathan says, BS polling like the one showing Elise in the lead. Yes. Absolutely. Kim says, RFK depended on inside polling. Yes. I know the guy who did it for him. He's actually a New Yorker, believe it or not. Yeah, he's a New Yorker who actually did it for him to give him the insider polling. And that's why he's able to be so effective. That's why he's able to be so effective as a fundraiser, so effective as a candidate. Because internal polling tells you what the people actually are thinking so you know how to deal with it, which is what I need that, which is why I'm bugging you all for money. Polling costs money. Tens of thousands of dollars do good polling inside and out. It's why I keep asking money. It's not free. It's not free. It's expensive. It costs a lot of money to do it. Guys, hook me up. Throw me some cash. If you can't throw me cash, throw me time. One or the other. I need both. Jacqueline's here. With New York, people also have to take the state assembly and state senate as well. If by chance Elise miraculously wins, she's going to be up against 103 Democratic assemblymen and 43 Democratic senators. Yes. If Elise wins, she can do nothing. I mean, she's not going to win, but you're right. If she does win, she can't do anything, right? Here's the difference. If I win, I by default have a mandate. Whether people in New York City like it or not, Mamdani, as a Democratic Socialist, winning 50% or more, which he did so far. I mean, who knows what happens at the end? He has a mandate. Trump, when he beat Harris, had a mandate. When you have a mandate, people have to bend. They have to. You have a mandate. Is how it works. If I win, by default, I have a mandate. I'll be an independent beating both of the parties. I default have a mandate. Not just that, I have a plan. The Democrats and Republicans in the Assembly and the Senate in New York State are not going to change parties. Not a thing. But those in the Democrats and Republicans in the state assembly and the state Senate will change the party to my party, either the We the People Party or the Libertarian Party. If We the People makes more sense to them to do that, if Libertarian makes more sense to do that, either way, that's my coalition. If I just get 5 to 10 in that area of those people in the state Senate, I will control the Senate. Yes, I will control the Senate. I am the Senate. I'm the emperor at that point. I'm kidding. But yes, I will control the Senate by swing vote. So I would have impact immediately. Now you might go, but Larry, if you pass any law, they'll just veto it. Yes, but I'll stop it in the Senate so it doesn't get to it doesn't get to me. That's the way you get around it. So Jacqueline, you're correct. I have the advantage. Well, Larry, why in the world would they come to you? Why would they do that? Because how it works is seniority matters. So if you're junior, you have zero power in our Congress. The people who run everything are the Speaker of the House and the Senate Majority Leader. They run everything. If you're a junior, shut up. That's how it works. In fact, that's how it works in Congress too. But in New York State, it's how it works. So I get all the junior guys and go, hey, do you want to have some power? And they go, we would love to have power. Awesome. Change parties. Jam. That's all I do. Yep. And you might go, but Larry, what if they're Republicans, Democrats? What if they have beliefs? Most of them don't. I mean, just be forward with you. Most of them don't. But even those who do, great. Most people can find something good. And that's the advantage of independent parties. Libertarians, we the people. There's stuff in it that most people like. Focus on the things people like. Come on board. So yes, you are correct. That's how I can make impact, and she can't. You said it again. I can make more impact as governor than Elise Stefanik. I've just explained how. Have her explain how she's going to make things happen. She can't, because there is no way. She cannot make anything happen. All she can do is go, I won. I'll grift more than anybody else. And now I'll keep the Republican Party alive for 20 more years that struggles to try to pretend to do something as it won't. And then the state continues to decay. If I don't win next year, the state continues to decay. That's how it works. If you're okay with that, awesome. Vote Democrat, Republican. To be forward, if life is good for you in New York, I don't know why you're watching, but if it is, you shouldn't vote for me. If everything's awesome and life is good and everybody's happy, status quo is working for you, I get it. I don't know why you vote for me. I don't know. Unless you want to help other people, that'd be amazing. I hope you do. Vote for me then. Robert says, politicians need to understand that black voters, especially ones that have lineage to U.S. chattel slavery, have an agenda, and they need to honor that. I'm not sure that's true. And hear me out before you yell at me, Robert. I find so many black voters not paying attention. So many. I meet them. They're not paying attention. Don't know I'm running, have no idea, don't know who's running for governor. And by the way, some of them I met actually on the Mamdani campaign. Because I'd be out and I'd meet other people who were out doing things. And he did have a decent amount of black voters who were with him. Black support, I should say, the black volunteers. Decent amount of black volunteers. Hispanic, a decent amount of Hispanic and black. Mostly, though, young white people was the most, but there were a decent amount of Hispanic and Black. I met them. And they didn't know who I was, didn't know what mattered. Most of them didn't even know what Mamdani was talking about. They just knew Mamdani was different. So what I would say is some Black voters have an agenda. I'm not sure most do. I haven't seen that. I've seen that most Black voters that I've seen, and maybe you and I have a different peer group in that regard. Most that I've seen, I can only go by experience, are just worried about surviving, keeping their families together, like that. That's what I see. I do not see an actual united agenda. I don't see it at all. I wish it was more united. I don't see it. Music Man Crichton says, Larry, you might get 40-50% of Democrats voting for you. I hope that's true. I could see a bunch. I mean, I think we saw that happen in New York City. A bunch of Democrats swapping both sides. I think you could see it. Yes. I hope so. BKNY 9103 says, I became libertarian in 2018 because of you, Larry. As long as you don't give up, neither will I. But I will vote gold in 2026. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Yes, I do appreciate that. Absolutely. All righty. Again, Kim says, I hope you do some insider polls. Yes, takes cash, Kim. If you guys are watching and you want me to do inside polls, I get it. Then here's something that's you can do, guys. If you've already given, you're like, Larry, I've given you enough. I can't go any more further. Okay. Get someone else you know too, particularly if they're in New York, but any place. Hey, this guy I care about, he's important. Can you throw him $10 a month? Can you throw him $20 a month? Get someone else to do it. Get your cousin, your friend, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever, son, daughter, if they're old enough. Just make sure that they're over 18 and they're American citizens. That's it. Just do that. We're good. Don't do foreign people. I'd give the money back. I can't take money from foreigners. Don't do that. But if they're as long as they're Americans, we're good. Do that. They can give. Please go ahead. So it does matter. Get someone else too. Or buy a gift for somebody. Get them a Larry Sharpe shirt, hoodie, or bumper sticker. What a great gift. All good. So yes, or super chat me right now. You can if you want to, right? Super chat me at LarrySharpe.com/super chat. That also works if you want to. Gets it right to the front. So if you want to do that, also works. All those things work. So I appreciate that. I absolutely do. All right. Let me go down a couple more of these if I can. You guys give me a whole bunch of them. I really appreciate it. All right. Robert goes on to say, also, I'm never going to be thrilled about someone essentially telling Black Americans they need to get over slavery. Yeah. That's common, particularly on the right. And it's completely insensitive where other groups, they don't have to get over it. Only Black Americans do. Right? So Native Americans don't have to get over being crushed. Jews don't have to get over the Holocaust. Mexican Americans don't have to get over losing California, Mexico. None of them have to get over. They don't have to get over that. But Blacks have to get over slavery. Either they all have to get over it, or none of us have to get over it. One or the other. It's got to be. You're right. Right? You can't say, well, why don't you Jews get over the Holocaust? Why don't you Native Americans get over us taking your land? Why don't you get over it? They're not saying that. If they're all, at least they'd be honest, Robert. If they said it to all of them, everyone who's been screwed, then at least they'd be consistent. I'd give them that. But you're right, they're not. This is heavily on the right, not on the left. It's heavily on the right. Just get over slavery. What about the rest? And the part that you know, that many people don't know, it actually isn't slavery. And that's the part that people don't get. It actually isn't slavery. That's terrible, don't get me wrong. But what really hurt Black Americans today actually isn't slavery. I know it's kind of a hot take maybe, but it's the apartheid afterwards. The apartheid afterwards is what crushed the Black spirit, crushed the Black family, right? It was the laws that destroyed Black America. It was the government afterwards, the apartheid system that was created in America that, again, didn't affect anybody else. It only affected Black Americans. You're right. You're not wrong. I'm agreeing with you. But all I'm saying is, at least if you're going to be that get over it, if you're going to be that get over it guy, be get over everything. Everybody has to get over everything. At least you're consistent then. But I'm not hearing that. So, yeah, I'm with you. I get what you're saying. I get it. All right. Let's see here. Thomas says, the economy only matters in the present tense. It doesn't matter whose cause it is or who's holding the bag. It's who's holding the bag that matters. Yes. And often, Thomas, to be clear, it's often untrue that it's the person holding the bag that it's their fault. But it doesn't matter. You're right. And that's my point. People very often go, you don't understand. The reason why Obama is because Bush, or the reason why Trump is because Obama. It does not matter. You may be right when you're saying it. Nobody cares. No, I'm sorry. The vast majority of Americans who vote don't care. And that's what matters. You're correct. Absolutely. All righty. I'm going to grab this is a super chat that came in. Thank you for the $5, Phil. Here's $5 to buy a poll to show how Elise has high negatives in New York State. I can't see how she doesn't become a boogeyman and motivate Democrats. You are 100% correct. Here is what's going to happen. And it's going to start with as soon as she announces. The second she announces, she is going to be tied directly to Trump, and it's going to work. Orange Man bad in New York State still works. We know it works. Orange Man bad still works in New York State. Now, she will try brown man bad because that's the counter to orange man bad. She'll try that. But again, remember, Republicans, there aren't enough of them. Will brown man bad work on Republicans? Yes. Republicans don't like socialism at all. They hate it. Of course, they're Republicans. I get it. They're going to hate it. They're going to be scared of brown man. He's going to make the world socialist. Of course. That will work. But there aren't enough Republicans. Orange man bad works in New York State because Democrats outnumber Republicans almost 3-1. That's why it works. So, yeah, you're totally correct. She's going to be a boogeyman. They're going to tie her to Trump. They're going to basically say she's Trump in high heels or whatever, Trump in a dress or whatever they're going to say. They're going to bring that up. That's what's going to happen. And she's going to get trashed 100%. And she has tied herself to Trump hard. Hard. Music Man says, I know some damning stuff on Elise that would sink her campaign. If everyone wants to know about it. I'm sure lots of people want to know about it. I'm sure they would. Please let it out. I'm sure they would love to hear it. Absolutely. Jacqueline says, an independent can work with the state assembly and the state senate. A Republican cannot as of now. True. Yes, true. Absolutely. D says that Larry needs volunteers for Team Teal Sharpe. Sign up at larrysharpe.com/volunteer. She's right. Guys, if you can, come volunteer. Come volunteer. It does matter. How are you going to volunteer? You're going to sign up. You're going to come to our meeting at 9 p.m. tonight. And after you come up to our meeting at 9 p.m. tonight, you're going to understand what you have to do to be part of our SEAL Team Sharpe and to make things happen. We need people to be on social media badly. We don't have enough. We need more. Larry, I'm not on social media that much. I don't care. One time is enough. Get on, click a like, put in a comment, something. It matters. You might think that your like or your comment doesn't matter. It really does. When you start adding these up, it makes the algorithm pop. And when the algorithm pops, we can go viral. If we go viral, we win. Elise is not going to go viral. Kathy Hochul's not going to go viral. They're not going to. They can't. They won't say anything that's crazy. They won't do it. They're not going to go viral. We can go viral. It can happen, but only if you help. I'll go one step further with this. Dee, thank you for bringing this up. If you want to make stuff for the campaign, you want to make a Larry Sharpe meme, you want to make a Larry Sharpe AI video, make them, please. Make them and put them up. Make them put them up. But Larry, make them and put them up. Or if they suck, I don't care. Or if they're amazing, I don't care. Or if it's not really you, I don't care. I'm looking for legitimacy. And legitimacy means I get attacked, right? Me getting attacked is a good thing. Why do you think when people insult me, I put them up on a screen? Because I enjoy the attacks? I mean, I don't care about the attacks, to tell you the truth, but because I enjoy it. It helps me. Whether I tell people who get mad at me to stay on. I don't tell them to leave. I don't even block them. You've noticed that? People insult me. I don't block them. I say, stay on. If I'm getting attacked, I'm real. If I'm getting attacked, I'm a threat. I don't mind if they call me names or insult me. Great. More engagement. I'm more legitimate. I hope Republicans get upset and stop making stories about me about how I don't know, want to kill people, whatever the hell they're going to tell me. I don't care. Say it. Yes. I'll put it on my social media. Legitimacy matters. So if you want to make something, you're creative, you make something up, make it and put it up. Just do it. Just do it. And if I'm unhappy with it, I'll tell you and ask you to fix it. And you fix it if you want to. You don't have to. You don't do what I have to say. I hope you do what I say, but you don't have to. So yes, I will tell you what I think. So I hope that's helpful in that. Thank you for that, D. I appreciate it. So yes. All righty. I went through that. All righty. I grabbed a bunch of those. All right. So many of these. I appreciate all the comments. All right. I go through them so much. All right. A couple more of these if I can. Lunatic says, Mamdani is in a particular position as I see it, along with other Democratic socialists, Republican Democrats. If you're aligned with the communist or totalitarian party, your citizen can be revoked. So he goes into revoked. I don't think totalitarianism. Communist, maybe yes. But officially, he's not a communist. And only because of Cold War laws and rules. But he's not officially a communist. Officially, he's a socialist. So, yeah, I think that's true. So, all righty. Let's see here. The Nudge says, you didn't pack your bags for 2018. Are you through with tilting at windmills and ready to be Libertarian governor of New Hampshire? Not yet, my friend. I appreciate the nudge, literally the nudge. I appreciate the nudge, but I'm a New Yorker still. I have thought of leaving more than once. In 2016, I was after the Gary Johnson loss. I was hoping Gary Johnson would get 5%, and he didn't. I thought maybe I'll go to North Carolina, Charlotte, and then I didn't. After 2022, I started thinking maybe I'm going to pack up and go to Chattanooga, Tennessee. I didn't. I'm still here. If I were to ever leave New York State, I might go to New Hampshire. I might if I ever were. But I'm trying to fix my state. I want there to be no need in my perfect world for a free state project. Now there is. You're not wrong. There is a need for it. I would like there to not be a need because the country changes to where it's not required. And if we can change New York, we can change the nation. And so I will keep tilting at those windmills, my friend. I'm still tilting right now. But now, by the way, is my best chance, absolute best chance for victory is this year. This election cycle is my best chance. Why? I'm starting at 8 or 9% in the polls. Let me say it again. That's my start. I'm starting this election cycle at 8 or 9% in the polls. It's already there. You saw the polls. Other, depending on how they did it, was either 8 or 9%. There's only one other. And by the way, the color was gold. And there's only anyone else running. It's me. So I'm beginning this race at 8 or 9%. I've never began a race at that height, ever. So I start at 8 or 9%. That's huge. And matching funds, $3 million. That's huge. If there is a chance of victory, it's this year. So why would I go to New Hampshire when I have a shot at real impact and a victory this year? Nope. I can fix this state. I can fix this state. And that will bring in, again, think about how much the news is talking about Mamdani. He just won the mayor of New York. Imagine if I won the governorship of New York. Oh my God. Yes. Ryan says, would you consider sharing an analysis on how this election outcome positions you for your gubernatorial run? New York State feels political up for grabs, or more so now. Yes. Yes. What this showed, Ryan, is that the Republican Party in this state is broken. Right? I want to be clear on this. The Republican Party, the second main party in New York State, got 7% of the vote. Couldn't break 10%. Let me say it again. The Republican Party in New York State couldn't break 10%. New York City is almost half the population of New York State. In half the population of New York State, the Republican Party couldn't break 10%. And you think Elise Stefanik's going to win? What planet are you on? What are you smoking? It's impossible. The Republican Party told its own members to vote for the former Democratic governor, who his words said, there is no room in my state for conservatives. His words. He said that. I didn't say it. He did. The Republican Party establishment told their voters to vote for that guy. That's how broken the Republican Party is. When established Democrats, got upset at the system and said, we don't like this system anymore. Okay, great. Vote Republican then, right? No. Vote DSA. So when they were pissed off, when they can't pay the rent, when they can't eat, instead of voting for a Republican, they voted for a DSA member. That was their answer. And you think Elise is going to win? The DSA member who won, even though not officially, was basically an independent. The DSA is like a separate entity within the Democratic Party. So basically an independent one. So yes, can an independent win this year? Yes. Literally set up for this. Republicans cannot win in my state. It is impossible. The numbers aren't there. And here's the part, Ryan. The Republicans know this. This is the hardest part for you as if you're a Republican voter. Here's the hardest part for you. You have to accept that your GOP leadership is lying to you and has been lying to you for years. This is our year. This is our year. It's not your year. It's not going to happen. The numbers are there. The proof is yesterday. Yesterday, the Republican was the spoiler in half the population of New York State. Not going to happen. So here's my analysis. People in New York State have to go, oh my God, what are we going to do? Do we want Kathy Hochul again? Most New Yorkers will say no. Well, then why don't they vote for Elise Stefanik? That would make sense, right? Yeah. Well, why didn't they vote for Curtis Sliwa? Because New York State Democrats hate Republicans, period. It's literally what Bill Maher said years ago on a show when people said, why don't these Republicans vote for us? And he said, because they hate you, because they think you hate them. Been true for years, still true. So you're not going to get Democrats to make that vote. Not going to happen. And yesterday was the proof of it. And and after Mamdani wins, more Republicans are going to leave. You think Republicans are going to stay in their state after Mamdani wins? Watch the exodus next year. More going to leave. At least 200,000, if not more. At least 200,000 go, leave. Those are all Stefanik's votes. Gone. Gone. It is impossible. They cannot win. So who's going to win? The independent. How do I know that again? I go back to Nebraska and Utah. The only attacks possible against the Republican establishment in those states is independence. That's it. The only possible attack against Democrats in this state is independence. That's it. That's how we win. That is how we win. So right now at 8-9%, I raised enough money. I raised enough awareness. People start paying attention to me. I start winning more and more in the polls. Once I hit a certain level, right now, whatever number I get in a poll, I will actually get about half at the polls. This is the reality of life. If I poll at 8%, I'll get 4% in the polls. Still wonderful. I'll still get ballot access for both parties. That would be wonderful. If at this point right now I stopped, I still get ballot access for two parties. If I stop right now, still works. The reality is once you get up to a certain level, that number becomes real. Why? Because at one point, people still think, yeah, I like him, but he can't win. That's what they think. I like him, but he can't win. He's not real. So about half of the people, when they get to the polling booth, decide to not vote for me and vote for their Democrat Republican. That's the norm. But once you hit a certain point, and we know this from Jesse Ventura, that's how we know that. Again, everything I'm saying, I'm not making up. We know this. Once you get to about 15, 20% in that area, depends upon who you are and what's happening, people go, oh my God, this guy actually could win. He's real. That's the legitimacy that I'm fighting for. So say at about 15%, 16%, you're still going to get about half. So at 16%, you're probably going to get 8%. Still great, but that's all you're going to get. Once you're at 20% in the polls, now that number is real. Because now people go, oh no, he could win. Huh. I'm going to vote for this guy. Now the people who were thinking they were going to vote and voted and put in the poll, yes, are actually going to vote for you. So once you get 20, 25%, it's real. When I get to that level, now we're rocking and rolling. That's why polling matters so much. It's why I bug you for casket polls. Once it hits 20, when people go, Larry Sharpe's at 20%, this dude's real. Then they go, this guy's real. This guy could do this. More people jump on board. People start telling their friends, guy, you gotta vote for this guy. And before you know it, I'm at 35%, 40%. This is a three-way race. At 35, 40%, I win. That's a win. Three-way race. That's a win. In the New York City race, 42% would have been a victory. That'd have been a victory. 42% was a victory. Right? And because Sliwa got so low, he only got 7%. In this case, the Republican will probably get at least 15%, maybe 20. So probably about 35 to 40% will actually be a win because he'll have more of a chunk. So yes, that's how we do it. This is up for grabs. And it's the best part. Once I win, one thing I know is I actually have coattails. Meaning that once I win, if you're an independent candidate in New York State, you should be all about me winning. Why? Because I'll back you in the next year. I did it already. Again, I've done this already. I'm not making this up. I have evidence of everything I'm telling you. I have evidence of. In 2018, when I got ballot access, I crossed the state in 2019, and 107 libertarians won elections. 107. One was a DA. Most of them was city council, but they all won. Local elections, they won. Why? I went back out there. I covered the state again. I brought press with me. I brought money with me. So I helped them raise money, and I helped them in the press. So they won. I actually have coattails in New York State. So once I win, watch the local people keep rocking and rolling. Yes. I hope that makes sense. So, all righty. Mike is in the house. He goes 1 year to get 4 more and fix New York State. 1 year to get 4 more. Oh, 1 year to get 4 more. Yes, correct. Yes, absolutely. We got 1 year left. Yes, guys, please keep going. Yes. Phil says, Larry's going to Saratoga this weekend. Don't bet on the ponies, bet on Sharpe. True. He is right. You should not bet on the ponies, bet on Sharpe. And so that we are clear, do I have it here? I do. For those of you who may not remember or have forgotten, let me show you right now if I could. This is where I will be this week. He is correct. Phil is correct. Friday, November 7th, this Friday, 12:30, up at the Skyview Restaurant in Kingston, New York. At 6 p.m., the Parting Glass in Saratoga Springs. Yes, if you notice, almost every weekend, I am out doing something. I am actively campaigning. Is Stefanik? Is Hochul? Can you meet them and talk to them anywhere? No. You can come talk to me. I'm actually meeting. How do you think I know so much about New York State? How do you think I know what people are feeling and thinking? Because I meet them all over the place. All the time. Because I'm doing this all the time. This is the end of my 7th. I'll be starting my 8th in about a week or two. 8th time I've crossed the state and gone to every single county. No one else can say that. And just local places. All these are local places, local businesses. I talk about supporting local businesses, and now I'm doing. I talk the talk, and I'm walking the walk, literally. November 8th, Saturday, you can see me. The Village Roast Coffee Shop in Keysville. Amato in Tupper Lake at 2:30. 7 p.m. DePrinzio's in Clayton. That's all North Country. So Friday, I'm doing Hudson Valley, Albany area, capital area, capital district. Saturday, I'm doing North Country. Sunday, back down in Cooperstown, in that area, more like Central New York, more like Hudson Valley in that area, heading down there in Cooperstown. 11 a.m., the Upstate Bar and Grill. Come see me if you can be in the area. If you got to drive an hour or two, drive it. Yes. Why? Because I'm driving 6 hours a day. So you can drive 1 hour to see me. You can if you want to. I hope you want to. Please come by. It does matter. All right. Let me grab a couple more of these if I can. D says, any advice on these libertarians who are calling you out for running a third time? I heard a recent podcast where they're dissing you, pissing me off. Love how they bitch behind. Yes, a mic. Yeah, all the time. My biggest critics are almost always libertarians, constantly libertarians. Libertarians are always doing it because they are worried more about virtue signaling than anything else. That's all they care about. And I don't virtue signal enough for them. So they get mad. I don't give a shit, right? I don't care. They're going to yell and scream all day. Let them put their stuff here. I'll talk to them. I'll go on their podcast. D, if you see it, tell them I'll come on their podcast. They can yell at me on the podcast. They're all full of shit, and I'll tell them that. That's it. So many libertarians don't understand something. And if you are libertarian, please hear this out. It's important to understand this. The liberty movement is bigger than the Libertarian Party. It is. The Libertarian Party is part of the movement. The movement can survive without the party. True. And they know that and they act like they're so much better. They can go fuck themselves. The reality is the party also matters. It's a part of the movement. I am not good at being an activist out there doing that stuff. It's not my skill set. You don't see me out in protesting. You don't see me. And that's not what I'm good at. Those activists are important and they should do what they do, which is why I don't diss them unless they diss me first, because they are valuable. Podcasters are valuable. The guys like the Dave Smiths of the world, these people are valuable. They're good at letting people know what's going on. The podcasts, Liberty Dad, these people are important, right? Let them go out and do their thing. It matters, right? Dadman is good with his nonprofits, Liberty Nonprofits. These people are important. They should be doing their thing. Of course, there's so many of them. I can't even think of all of them that there are. There's a Thomas Queter. He's here in New York. He's doing it. Dadman's also in New York doing it too. These people are critically important. They should do it. I never get mad at them unless they attack me first. But with that in mind, so is the party. That's what I'm good at. So I stay in my lane. My lane is running for office. There is literally, right now, currently, no one better at than me. And if that sounds like I have hubris, I don't give a shit. It's true. Find someone who's better. Libertarian. I'm running for office. No one. Find me one person who can get ballot access in New York State for the Libertarian Party. That's not me. No one. Find that person. I told the Libertarian Party to do that. I said, find me a person who can do this. Not who can do this, who can do it and who will do it. I'll drop out. I wasn't joking. I said it publicly. I will drop out. They can't. There is no one. They're pissed off, right? Because they know I'm right and they can't stand it. There is no, to be forward, for those who don't know, there's only two people in the history of the Libertarian Party who have raised more money than me. Only two. Only two. And they were both presidential candidates, Joe Jorgensen and Gary Johnson. And if it goes the way I want this year, I will beat Joe Jorgensen. Only Gary Johnson will have raised more money than me. He raised $11 million. Only him. That's it. So they can talk all the trash they want, be upset all they want. There's currently, at this moment in time, there is no more popular or better candidate libertarian in the country. If that makes you angry, I don't care. Be angry. It's true. That's why I'm asking you for your time, energy, and money. This is not easy to do. And it's not because I'm so awesome. That isn't the reason. I mean, of course I am awesome, but that isn't the reason. The reason is nobody else will do it. Talented people who could do this will not. There are other people who could do this. There are other talented libertarians who could do this job. Of course they could. I'm not the only guy who could do it. That isn't the issue. I'm the only guy who will do it. There is a distinction. They're talking shit, but they won't do this. They're talking to us, they won't do this. Running for office, for those who don't know, is punishment. I get insulted all day, backstabbed by people in my own party, as she says, all the time, insulted daily. It is a series of disrespect. They won't put up with it. Most people won't. I will. It isn't that I'm so talented. That isn't the issue. There are people who are as talented as me and more talented and who could do this. They exist. People have more money than me who could do it. Absolutely, they exist. They won't do it. I know I've asked. And people who are in my team know I've asked others to do this so I wouldn't have to. I've asked more than one person to do this. I've reached out to more than one person to do this. I've asked people to run for office without me doing it. I've asked them. They won't. So you can bitch all day you want, be mad and angry behind my back or whatever, all you want. Will you step up? No. That's the issue. They won't do it. This is not easy. Anyway, all right, let me keep moving if I can. They got me all upset. I'm not upset. I'm calm. I'm calm. I'm good. I did not go crazy. I didn't get triggered. I kept moving, and now I'm done. Even though my libertarians are always the ones who get mad at me. It's always them. So, all right, let me move down if I can. Okay. Phil says, Trump is destroying his coalition too. Massima. Yes. Trump has hubris, and his people do too. Yes. Ryan says, Zeldin was a donor magnet, was all. Larry's right. Before him, Maldonado was Cuomo 2.0. GOP in New York State is trash. Yep. I'm not making it up. Yes. I'm not making it up. Other people are seeing it too. Yes. Gracie says, you got to do what you got to do. You are not an unreasonable man anyways. LP needs to court the GOP voters better anyways. Yes, we need to court all the voters. Court all of them. GOP, Democrat, and I try to. If you see my policies, I bring this up all the time. My policies are constantly some the left like, some the right like, right? So I'm open to making much easier hemp and cannabis laws. Much easier allowing people, farmers and people to sell, make products on their farms. That's a very democratic-leaning or left-leaning policy. And I'm 100% pro-Second Amendment, a very right-leaning policy. In fact, many Republicans, when they hear my hemp policy, don't like it. And many Democrats who hear my 2A policy don't like it. They like the other ones. I have to get people, to your point, who will say, you know what, I don't like that 2A, but I like the hemp. I'll get nothing with Elise Stefanik. I'll get nothing with Kathy Hochul, but I'll get the hemp. I'll take Larry Sharpe. Got Republicans go, you know what, I hate that goddamn hemp thing he does, but I like the Second Amendment. I'll get nothing with Elise Stefanik. I'll get nothing with Kathy Hochul, but I'll get the Second Amendment with Larry Sharpe. I need lots of people to get that piece. I'll get something with him. I will get it. He will make some change, right? Democrats who may not like my K through 10 plan, my education plan, they may not like it. They'll be like, no, I don't like that. I want kids in school for 75 years. Republicans go, wait a minute, K through 10? And you're supporting homeschooling and private schooling? I like that. Okay, I'm in. Democrats don't like that part. But then I tell Democrats, we're getting rid of a bunch of administrators so teachers can teach. We're letting teachers actually teach so they can stop quitting and be easy to hire teachers. They can actually do their job. Democrats go, oh, I like that. I hate that kid to 10, but teachers get to teach. Oh, again, I get nothing with Hochul. I get nothing with Stefanik. I get that with Larry. All right. Yeah, we'll handle it. And that's not an easy pill to swallow. I know, but that's coalition building. That's coalition building, right? The Maha people. I'm the one saying no lockdowns. Constitutional amendment to end lockdowns forever, no matter what, in New York State, based upon the First Amendment. Maha people go, oh my God, it's amazing. I want that. Now, they may not like my Second Amendment issues. They might not like it at all. But they go, I don't like that Second Amendment stuff, but I like that medical freedom piece. Man, I like that medical freedom. I'll get nothing with Stefanik. I'll get nothing with Hochul. All right, I'll jump on the Larry Sharpe train. That's what I want to make happen. That's important. So I hope that can happen. That is my goal. So let me grab a couple more comments if I could. All righty. Nathan says, Gracie, there are plenty of average people in the GOP that believe like libertarians do. We just need to make them feel like it's worth their vote. True. That's my entire point. Yes. Yes, absolutely. So, Dallo Margrim says, how fast do you protect the legislation to institute London-style no-go zones to divide up New York City and institute Sharia zones? I give under 6 months. No, I don't think so. I don't see that happening. I think there may be more, maybe religious freedom in certain areas, perhaps, but no, I don't see that. I don't think that will happen at all. I don't see that because remember something. America isn't New York City. And many people don't see that. New York City is a separate piece of America. It's very separate. It's not America. America is New York City. I don't see that happening at all. I don't think the country would accept that. I don't think. And to be forward, the DSA is very savvy as a group. As a group, they're actually pretty savvy in general. They move relatively smartly. They tend to do things a bit more methodical, which is one of the reasons why they're most successful. So I don't see this at all. I would say no. This is, if anything like this would happen and they divvy it up or something like that, it would be in Mamdani's second term. It would not be his first term at all. Remember, New York City has term limits, 2 terms for mayor. If any of this would have happened, I'm not sure any of it would happen, but if it would, it's his second term. It's not his first term. I don't see it at all his first term. His first term is trying to get a second term. This would be far too controversial to do so, so he would not do it. I think his first term would not be this at all. Second term, maybe. First term, no. I don't see it. I don't see it. So, all righty. Robert Baccanet. Robert's got to say today. The Republicans online turned Winsome's campaign to a race campaign. The very type of campaign they lambast Democrats for having. The townspeople saw through them. Yeah, that's true. They did not do her a solid either. It's true. They did not do her a solid. I agree. Yes. All righty. Kim says, all I can hope for is we get some credible people in place that are capable of rebuilding after the empire hits the ground. It'll take some special people. And yeah, that's what I'm building. So I'm trying to build, Kim, an answer for either we stop it before it falls or an answer for after it falls that we can rebuild. Yes. Why do you think I'm spending so much time on policy? So much time on policy. For that reason. You are absolutely correct. I'm trying to fix that. Yes. Kim goes on to say, Larry had candy for everyone. True. Everyone gets a little bit of candy. Yeah. Now, some of the candy so you don't like. Don't take that candy. Take the candy you like. Yes. Take the candy you like. Mike goes slightly triggered, but okay. Not my worst, Mike. I was good. Cheryl says, I met Quito in real life at the last rally I saw Larry at. I saw Quito on Zoom. I had to jump out because it was the day my nephew was killed. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Quito is doing a good job, and he should be doing that. That's true. 99er Rising says, Republicans are a third party in New York City. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Nathan says, I would love to see a conversation between you and Brendan Herrera out of Texas, running as a R pro-Trump, but he's fighting an establishment incumbent. Set it up, brother. I'm in. Reach out. Set it up. Happy to do it. Yes. If we want that to happen, yeah. 100%. Kim says, RFK was at 20%. Yes. Yes. That's why he was a threat, Kim. You get it. That's exactly right. That's why he was. Correct. Patty says, just no negative ads, Larry. This is why some candidates lost up here. The negative ads turn it off their own party. Just tell them what you would do positively. I think I tend to do that, right? I mean, if I ever go negative anyway, it's usually at leadership versus individuals, usually. And I try to do it with actual what they did, not just he's a bad person. I explain what happened, and then I try to give the answers of what I think, how we can fix it. You see, 2 nights ago, I did Mamdani's policies. I actually said some nice things about Mamdani. I said when he was doing good at things, I did. So, yeah, I just think that in general, I tend not to be that negative. I do some negative stuff here or there. I'm still human, Patty. I am. But would I actually make negative ads? I doubt it. The problem we have, though, Patty, is there will be other people who will do ads. They will do ads that they see fit. Those won't be my ads, but there'll be others. PACs will do ads as they see fit. I can't stop that. That's the one downside. Hopefully, we won't see any negative ads from Larry Sharpe, but you might see negative ads from PACs who decide they want to attack people. So I think that could happen. So that can be the case. So anyway, let's see here. Let's see. I think we grabbed that already. Kim says, probably wouldn't like Tennessee anywhere, Larry. Maybe. She says, I wouldn't like Chattanooga. I was considering it. I was considering leaving, but I did not leave and I'm still here. So I appreciate that tremendously. All right, guys, I'm going to ask you again, if I could, please, if you would, click the like button. It does matter. If you can share, repost this now, please do that. It really does matter. Repost this. And also, if you can, subscribe to this channel or this page, wherever you're watching on. Every little bit does count. So, yes. We're grabbing a couple people over on Instagram. It's Nigel Finesse Wooten says, New York is great Times Square. The impact in Memphis is great with the National Guard. How's the impact with the National Guard in New York? Here's the issue with the National Guard. What I like and don't like. I don't like when the National Guard is just sent in. Memphis didn't do that. Memphis wanted it. Therefore, Memphis then, of course, coordinates local police with National Guard. That works. When New York State has National Guard coordinate with New York State, with the NYPD, it works. Coordination is the key. That's the key. If the states and cities don't want it, use the National Guard and things go south. I don't want that. I want the states and the cities to say, hey, yes, I'm in. Let's do this. And when you coordinate, it works. Memphis is a perfect example of that. The Memphis mayor was like, yes, we're in trouble. I'd like it. And they coordinated and it worked. Surprise. That's the answer. So, Nigel, get them to agree, negotiate with them. And I keep saying it. Trump is a deal maker. Make a deal with the man. Just make a deal. He's literally a deal maker. It makes Republicans mad as a deal maker. Make a deal with him and coordinate, and you get success, right? Make a deal with him, you'll get success. That's the issue. So, yes, please do that if you want. Oh, thank you, Kasia. Thank you so much for the membership, guys. If you want to grab that membership, please. Every membership does count, please. Yes, go ahead. Please do that. I appreciate that tremendously. Every bit counts. I do appreciate it, guys. Yes. All righty. Let's see if I can grab here. I did that. Okay. 99 says, I'm a big fan of policy, and I think libertarians are in general, but I'm not showing the general population. I think your biggest issue is recognition. True. If you get in the debates, it's a problem for them. Look, here's the thing I want to be clear of. You are correct. If I get in debates, I'm the governor of New York. I'll say right now, if I get in debates, I'm the governor of New York. And they know that. And they know that. That's how that works. Kim says, Larry, always give credit where credit is due. I do that because I want you to know that I'm not just an ideologue. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wear my libertarianism on my sleeve. I do. It's obvious. Mike calls me out on it every other day. So yes, it's true. Guilty as charged. I don't hide that. It's true. But it doesn't mean I can't also say when someone does something well, and they often do. And when they do something well, I say, look, this person did well. Even if I disagree with the outcome, it doesn't matter, right? It still does. I do say that. People sometimes do the right thing, and I want to reward good behavior. That's the issue. So Robert says, I've been saying, and maybe I need to do some more forcefully, how does libertarianism help black people? No one's provided that answer. You know, maybe I thought I did a pretty good show on this a couple years back. Maybe I should do more on this. It's a good point, Robert. Your point is taken. Maybe I should do a show on this. The issue is I've tried to not be identity politicky when I don't have to be. But it's a valid point, and one I don't think I've addressed enough. Let me rethink this and see if maybe I should do a show specifically on that, just for that. The problem is race often, and I bring up race when I can. I'm not against bringing up race, but I tend to bring up race only when I think it matters. It doesn't always matter. Sometimes it's overblown. But maybe I should rethink this. All right, let me rethink this. I'm hearing you. My team is watching, listening. They're hearing you too. Let me see if I could do that. I have provided the answer, but you haven't seen it, which means I've done a bad job of communicating it because I have provided the answer. Clearly, I haven't done a good enough job because you watch and you haven't gotten it. So that's an error in my communication. I will try to repair that. If I can. I will try to. So, yeah. All right. That's a good one. Delma says, the biggest issue for you is going to be massive exposure. Yes. No amount of door knocking will supplant exposure on television through streaming commercials on social media. Yes, this is why I keep talking about everyone liking, commenting, sharing. Because what happens is if we get enough social media, that pushes you to mainstream media. And when mainstream media pops up, yes, you're correct. You're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. Why am I keep bugging you for money? Why do I keep doing this? I want you guys to share this. I want this stuff to go viral. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Robert adds, to the extent black voters weren't aware of your personal campaign as a libertarian, I think this demonstrates the failure of third parties in general, not a shot, and proving relevance in their lives. You're not wrong. If you didn't get this, and I know you watch my show sometimes, that means my communication has failed. I accept that as true. So I will have to be better at communicating. That's it. I will have to be better at communicating. I obviously haven't done it well enough, and I will. I'll get better. I'm not sure how yet. So I'm not promising like tomorrow, but yes, absolutely. 99 says, you mentioned that buying ads in certain networks, organizations leads to them covering you. It'd be worthwhile to try to learn who historically hosts these debates and votes on ads for them. Yeah, of course, yes. Of course, that makes the most sense. But again, that takes money. One campaign is at least $5,000 minimum, sometimes 10 or 20. Yeah, that's money. Everything you guys are saying, I'm agreeing with. Why do you think I keep doing this? Yes, you're all right. I agree with everything you guys are saying. You're correct. But this is why people get mad. Larry, we need to get money out, Paul. Money. Find me another way. Find me another way. If you have another way, I'm open to it. There's no other way. This is the way we beat them. This is the way we fight them. This is how it works. With that in mind, guys, if you want to donate, please go ahead. LarrySharpe.com/donate. I have been bugging you for donating. Yes, I have. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. I think that's the point. Go ahead. Have a super chat here, by the way. This is another one from Phil. He says, did you see the governor results in Buffalo? I don't think the Republican hit 20% in Buffalo either. Yes. The Republicans are now a third party. Yes. For those who don't know, the Republican Party in New York State, to be very clear, not across the country. I'm talking specifically in New York State. In New York State, the Republicans are now a third party. They are. There are more independents in New York State than there are Republicans. I'm not joking. And again, Democrats almost 3-1. And now with Mamdani winning, more Republicans will leave. Of course they will. At least 200,000 next year will leave. Guaranteed. They'll leave. And now Buffalo's our second largest city. For those who don't know New York State, New York City the first, Buffalo the second. So in New York City, the biggest city, Republicans couldn't get 20%, couldn't get 10% of the vote. In Buffalo, they couldn't get 20% of the vote. What are you talking about? But at least the final's going to win. Stop. Just stop. Stop. It's not a thing. It's a story they're telling you. It's not a thing. So help me out. Donate. If you want a hoodie or a shirt or bumper sticker, LarrySharpe.com/shop. If you've done it already, volunteer then. What I'm asking you to do is to volunteer or donate monthly. Volunteer if you can. LarrySharpe.com/volunteer. Sign up. Every Wednesday, 9 p.m., we have a nice call. We talk about what we need to do, how we should move forward. I need people on SEAL Team Sharpe to get into social medias. Look, we're a year out. I'm starting early. Why? Because we got to get that cash in. We got to move forward. To everyone's point, we got to get in the news. We got to rock and roll. We can do this. I'm sitting here talking to you personally to make this work. I'm answering your questions. Even people who ask me bad questions, I'm answering them. I'm showing up physically crossing the state. I'm actually campaigning. The other two are not. I'm actually doing the work. I'm out there. Guys, help me out. Volunteer. LarrySharpe.com/volunteer. Join SEAL Team Sharpe. It does matter. If you can donate, please donate. If you can, please do it monthly. Look at what you can swing. Again, I hope you're all in a very good position and you're making tons of money and you can drop $200 a month, $100 a month. I hope you are. If you're in that spot, drop $100 a month if you're there. I don't know if you are there, but if you're, do it. Why do we give you $100 a month? That's a lot of money. It is. But if you're making that kind of money and you want to keep that kind of money and you want to stay in this state and you don't want this to come to your state, it's worth the investment. I'm asking for 1 year. I'm giving you 1 year. Give me 1 year. Larry, I can't swing $100. Can you swing 20? Can you swing 10? What can you swing per month? Put it in. Commit to me for 1 year. I'm committing to you for 1 year. Commit to me for 1 year. Whatever you can swing, do it. Commit to me for 1 year. Right? Set it and forget it. Set it and forget it. After the election's over, take it off. Right? Take it off if the election's over. Do it for a year. It's what I need. It matters. It's the way it works. Please do that to the best of your ability. Every bit does count. Let's make it happen. Guys, I'm going to give you a little bit of homework. Remember, after this is over, if you would repost after this is over, it is helpful, right? If you can, after the show, please repost. I want you to put a comment wherever you are again. And the comment's going to be is, do you think now's the time for independence? If so, why? If not, why? Why you think it is, or why you think it's not time for independence in America and New York? Is this the time for independence? If yes, why? If no, why? Please do that in the comments after this is done. And remember, if this is not live, you're watching like a day or two later, you see some videos pop up, please watch one of them right away. Mr. Rhythm loves that. Algo Rhythm. I will see you all very soon.